from one of the advanced manuals, The Entertaining Speaker. He's giving the second speech in this manual, which is Resources for Entertainment. The focus of this speech is to use humorous or dramatic materials and sources other than personal experience, to adapt materials to suit the topic, personality and the audience, and use entertaining materials to convey a serious message. Emir needs no introduction because he gets to speak at all sessions of the club as vice-president. He's also a geek, as we know from his last contest speech. In fact, this is the first his out-of-competition speech since he got his CC last June. That's competent communicator for the guests. For his second project in the Entertaining Speaker Manual, he's going to reveal his geekiness again. Emir Garcias, Dude, Where's My Future? Dude, Where's My Future? Emir Garcias.
In 1968, a famous science fiction movie showed us a future where space travel would be a normal thing, and computers would think and talk like human beings. A few years later, another movie depicted a future where cars would fly and robots would be more human than human. Later on, the Terminator movies predict a future where intelligent machines and killer robots will rule the world. The list goes on and on. Clones, artificial intelligence, time travel, virtual reality, a brave new world beyond our wildest dreams. Do you see the pattern here? According to science fiction, the future kept a lot of technological wonders for us in store. And technology came with the promise that science and machines would make our lives easier so that we could work less, have more fun, and be happier ever after. A typical robot, that. And all of this was going to happen in the first few years of the 21st century. Guess what? The 21st century is already here. And it seems we were a little bit too optimistic. Because cars are not flying, computers are not thinking, and robots are not doing our jobs, or killing us for that matter. So this is the future, and it sucks. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, I dreamed of a future that would be exciting and full of possibilities. But that's not what the world of the future of the 21st century really looks like. And here I'm not talking about the climate change or the economic crisis or the global wars. Now, I'm talking about technology and what technology was supposed to bring us. But the truth is, space travel is a privilege reserved for the few who can afford it. Then, cars are not flying, but we have so many of them that sometimes they can barely move at all. And computers, they were the great promise from the new century. They were probably the reason why I became an engineer in the first place. But I'm sorry for this, but instead of making our lives easier, what they do is keeping us overworked and so dependent on them that everything else falls apart whenever they stop working. Yeah. This reminds me of a joke by economist Warren Bennis, who said that the factory of the future would have only two employees, a man and a dog. The man's job would be to feed the dog. The dog's job would be to prevent the man from touching any of the automated equipment. I really don't know about any factories run by machines, but it's true that we humans have been replaced by machines in some of the most human aspects of our lives, and not in the good way. See, for example, whenever I have to make some simple arithmetic operation, no matter how simple, I use a calculator. When I have to check the spelling of a test, I use a word processor. And whenever I need any piece of information, I Google for it. See, I work as a computer programmer, and for the most part of my work days, I really don't need to remember anything anymore. I just look for it on the internet. So instead of making us smarter, technology is making us lazy, stupid, and illiterate. See the internet, for example. it was supposed to be, I mean, it's full of technology, but how much of that is actually useful or relevant or even true? And then we have social networks that let us keep in touch with lots of strangers, and probably we don't know the name of the neighbor next door. And then we have online games and virtual worlds and fun to fill an entire lifetime from home. And yet, there was no movie in the 80s telling us that in the future people would waste their lives in front of a computer, living a second life that's not even real. That would have been too sad, too terrible to imagine. So we went for the killer robots instead. And what did these worlds of the future really bring us? This. Mobile phones, handheld devices, laptop computers, and all sorts of portable stuff. The idea is that these gadgets were meant to release us from the dependency on a physical location to work and communicate. They were supposed to make us all free. You see the irony here? Instead of making us free, what they do is keeping us all connected and available at all times. Instead of making us happier, they keep us busier. So I'm going to smash my mobile phone right now. Okay, maybe the thing is, don't get the wrong idea. I really love technology. I mean, I really do. I think it made a positive impact overall. And technology is here to stay anyway. So, what I'm disappointed is what we made of it. It's what the world of the future really turns out to be. And yes, now I'm talking about the global wars and the climate change and the economic crisis. Because no machine was responsible for any of those things. Human beings are. And it's our responsibility to fix them. So never let a machine do a human's job. Otherwise, I will show you what the 21st century will really look like. Another 100 years of the same old rubbish.